The widow of a corrections officer killed in the line of duty is speaking out, still hopeful for change within the Virginia Department of Corrections.
On November 17th, 2025, Master Corrections Officer Jeremy Lewis Hall was killed at the River North Correctional Center, allegedly at the hands of an inmate.
News 5's Liam Bridgman sat down with Dawn Hall to learn more about her efforts, and he joins us now live in the studio. Liam.
It's been now more than 7 months since Dawn Hall said her final I love you to her husband, Jeremy Hall, before he took what would be his last shift at River North Correctional Center. Jeremy and Dawn Hall bought a farm in Grayson County where Jeremy grew up and got married on the property in 2024.
I remember the first time we drove up here, it was breathtaking. I kind of knew that this would be home.
Just days after the wedding, Jeremy left for training in Richmond, set to become a corrections officer and work at River North Correctional, just a short ride from their home. It wasn't his dream job, but Dawn says he was committed to it.
There's just not a lot of job opportunities out in this part of the country or this part of Virginia, so that's what it was. He didn't talk a lot about work. That was one thing that he kind of, when he left, that's where he left it.
Dawn says just about the only thing Jeremy talked about openly was a threat made on his life.
He came home and was like, I've got something to tell you, but I don't want to tell you. And I was like, okay, well, just tell me. There was an inmate had attempted to stab him.
Dawn says workplace issues weighed heavily on Jeremy.
He came home from work and just wasn't happy. And you could tell something had shifted in him. And he didn't want to eat that night and wanted to just go to bed and just kind of wouldn't talk about it.
Dawn says Jeremy was later moved out of the prison and onto a transport shift for about a week before he was moved back into the prison, working in the same building where he was threatened. Then came November 17th of 2025.
And my father-in-law called me, and my father-in-law said, you need to get to the hospital now. I got to the hospital about 9:05. I knew, I don't know why, but I knew on the way there that he was gone. And about 20 minutes later, right around like 9:27, 9:30, the doctor came in and you could just see it on his face, and he just said, I'm sorry.
Dawn was told Jeremy had been stabbed multiple times and hit in the head. Inmate John Holloman Russell has been charged with Jeremy's murder.
I did go see him with his grandmother, and he still had the tubes in his mouth, but he had a blanket kind of up to here, and his hand with his wedding ring was kind of out of the sheet.
June 22nd would have been their 2-year wedding anniversary. Dawn has decided to turn her grief into action.
I said I wanted change. Never wanted this to happen again. And that's something I said from the beginning.
She and a corrections officer eventually filed a civil lawsuit against DOC leadership in Richmond and other facilities. But that corrections officer quit his job and dropped out of the suit, leading to it being dismissed.
Are you still hopeful that changes will actually be made?
I don't know, sometimes. You know, I think if we lose hope, then what do we have left as far as a society?
Last week, Governor Abigail Spanberger and Department of Corrections Director Joseph Walters announced several new initiatives, all aimed at making facilities and people safer.
The people in Virginia's prisons are not forgotten on our watch, and this is a conscious choice by this administration.
I'm all about authenticity, and it didn't feel authentic. You know, and I feel that way a lot when I'm dealing with them, with the DOC.
But Hall says she's still holding out hope.
I'm not out to get the DOC, and I know that that's what they think. I'm out to get somebody to listen and to hear and to make changes to make people safer. No amount of money, no amount of conversations, nothing will bring him back, but I don't want his name to be forgotten, and I don't want another family to have to go through this.